the URL for the module. But this is not something that I want to go in detail right now. It's a pretty simple, straightforward thing to do, and you are going to do it exactly the same for any DNG module for any kind of deployment. So the code that I've written there is JavaScript, by the way. It's not specific to my deployment. It can be used and reused as much as you need. So what I've done right now is that I have connected my DNG text with the specific requirement that I want. And now I can actually gain access to the part that I'm interested in, which is the rich text context for my requirement. So again, I will be using the DNG text. This is unchanged, and I will be getting the content from this content/text/rich text body property. I will put a paragraph here, and I will tell again. I repeat that the part that I'm interested is in this div property, right? So again, I will not go into details, but all this is quite well documented, and once you've done it a couple of times, you'll figure out better for yourself. Now again, RP prompts me and asks me that, tells me that something is not in order. I want to see what the problem is. So I see my DNG text data source that I've added is marked in red, and it has this star next to it, which is an indication that something is not configured, something is missing, and I need to provide the configuration. But actually, there is no configuration required for this data source. So I need to use the same credentials as for the DOS NextGen module data source, and also all the URIs or the URLs for the data are computed dynamically at runtime using the data from the DNG module. So what I need to do is actually hide this data source from the user. I don't want to confuse the end user by telling them or by showing them this data source. So I will go in the DNG text data source. I will select it from the right-hand side, and here I will say that for the configuration required property, there is nothing. I actually want to hide the data source altogether. All the properties are configured. Right. So one more thing to do is to specify that I want to inherit the properties of the DNG module, which means that at runtime RP will use the same credentials for the DNG text data source as it does for the DNG module one. So if I run this again right now, I should have no warning whatsoever. And if I look at the output document, I should be seeing now the rich text content that I was expecting. Again, I will open the HTML, and the results are much better. So I have the blue text that I was expecting to see. I see bold. I see lists in the output much better. There's and some links, for example here. There are still some missing things here. It's not looking quite right. So first of all, these do not look like headings. So introduction, purpose, scope, intended audience. They are not formatted properly. Also, images is what images are missing. So these are the things that I want to do next. I want to add the proper headings to my document. So if I look at the artifact, if I look at the DNG text, and if I look in the schema here on the left-hand side, if I look at the artifact, I can see I have the content, which is this rich text body, and then I have a title, right? Also, I can see that for each module binding from the original module information, I have an information, or I have a property which tells me if the specific requirement is heading and what is its depth, basically what is its heading level. I will be using all this information, and I will be showing you now another capability of RP, which is taking decisions at runtime again. So first of all, I want to do two things, or actually it's just one thing that I want to do. If the requirement is a heading, I don't want to print the rich text body. I want to reprint its title, and I want to specify that the title should be rendered with a heading style which matches the requirement level. So I will put a paragraph. I will put the title here, and theoretically I'm almost set, but it's not quite right, because if I leave this here, I will get duplicated data in my output. I will get both the title and the rich text body. So I need to tell RP, well, do one or the other, not both of them. So what I will be doing is define a condition. I select the paragraph, right-click on it. On the data, I will say edit condition and say, well, I only want this specific element of my template processed if and only if this requirement is a heading, right? So if heading is true here, and here in a reverse logic, I only want this if this heading equals or does not equal true, right? So you can see the conditions are marked with these two icons, and you should read this as for each data source artifact. If it's a heading, then print its title. If it's not a heading, then print its rich text content. There is one more thing that I need to do. For the paragraph, I need to specify that the style is actually the value that comes from the data source. So I will go again in the properties. I have selected the paragraph that holds my title. I'll go to the style name, and I will click this button here and specify that the heading, the style name, is the depth of that the value of the depth property for the requirement, which happens to be the heading level. And that's all I need to do. RP will automatically treat any style number that is just a numeric value as if I specify 1, it will handle it as heading 1. If it's 2, it's heading 2, and so on and so forth. So right now I should have everything set, and I will generate the document again. And actually, this is the last time that I will use this full document generation method, because as you can see, it takes some time. RP has to go and fetch each requirement and render it. But at least I'm quite close to what I want. So right now, my requirements come properly. I have the headings, I have the purpose, I have the rich text, I have pretty much everything besides the images. I will leave the images for now. And I will do something slightly different. I will take care of the images towards the end of this demonstration if we still have time. So right now, let me open the Word document. Right now, I have a document that looks like this. I have the title, which is not rendered very nicely, by the way. I have the data that comes from the DNG module. So I have the headings, and I have the rich text, and this is looking pretty nice. But again, it's not what I've seen and not what I've advertised when I've shown you the initial PDF document. And by the way, if I looked at the PDF document, I will see exactly the same thing. So what I want to do next is render this title in a nicer way, render it as a title, add a table of contents, and also add some headers and footers to my document. So these are the tasks that I will be doing next. Specifying that my title should be rendered using the title style is very easy. I can right-click on the paragraph, select the style option, and say title. And that's all there is to it. The next time that I run this document, my this entry will be rendered using that specific style. If I want to add a table of content, that's equally easy. From the palette on the left-hand side, I will go and click table of content and put it in my template in the place that I want it. And I want it right between the title and the rest of the document. So that's fine. Now, how about adding the headers and footers? There is nothing here in this window that you are currently seeing that allows you to define the header and footer. In RP, this is done through a concept that is called master page. So I will create a new master page, which is called master page data. You can give it at any name. I recommend giving a meaningful name to you. I will add a paragraph, and here I will say, well, this paragraph is requirement specification. Again, I'm trying to match or to build the PDF document that I've shown before. Requirement specification is here. Okay. And I also want to add the page numbers at the bottom of the page. Again, from the palette, I will grab the page number element and the total pages number element, and to distinguish between the two so that they do not look like a single number, I will put a text element in between with a slash symbol between them. So I have the requirement specification, I have the page number and total page number, and I want to do one more thing. I want to add borders to these two paragraphs. And again, this is done easily. You can select the paragraph, you go to the border property or the border section in the properties, select the border that you want to change, and for the top paragraph, I want to select the bottom border. I want a single border of 1 pixel in width, and I will leave the default color. And in the same way for the footer, I want to have a top border with a single pixel width, right? So I have now my template content. I have my master page, and I have to connect the two. I need to tell RP, well, when do you want to start using this header and footer? And you do this by dragging the master page that you want on top of the element where you want the master page to be applied. So I dragged it on top of the container that iterates through all my requirements, which means that right after the table of contents is done, I should be seeing the header and footer. I should be seeing the page number, and I should be seeing this static text at the top of my screen. So I will generate again the document, and if I've done everything right, let me think. Yes, if I've done everything right, I should be seeing a slightly nicer document, which has a title with a proper styling. It has a table of contents, and it also has a header and a footer. And by the way, by this time, I have stopped using the HTML document, because in HTML there is not a notion of a header and footer. You don't have those notions. So I've started using the Word output for testing. And it looks much better, right? I have the access and account module example, the title of the module. I have it rendered as a title element. I have this nice table of contents, and you can see here the headers and the footers that we've added. So I have the static text on the header, and on the footer I have my page numbering. All is fine, but for example, I should have centered the page number. So I can go back in my template. I can select the master page. I can go to this paragraph and say, well, for alignment, I want it to be centered. But I will not do that, and I will stop here tinkering with the. Let me do one more thing. The output or the outcome looks like this. If I want to change how the title style looks like, or if I want to change how my table of contents look like, I have two options. I can go in RP here, and I can tweak each and every formatting property individually, and you can do that. That's not a problem. You can come and change the font. You can come and change the color. The color you can set it bold, it's italic. You can do everything. But that's not the way I recommend you do it, because it requires you to change the template every time, and it makes the template or it limits the options of changing the layout to the people who know how to use RP. A much better option is to use external style sheets. And you use external, and what I mean by external style sheets are the normal DOT or DLC Word templates. So if I specify that for my Word output, the style sheet is something that I've prepared in advance, which is called requirement specification simple, and I generate this document again, I should be seeing a much different output. And this time, I will not do a full document generation. I will do a preview document. A preview document is a nice option for testing, because it will only use a subset of the data. So you still get a feeling about how the layout looks like. You still connect to the data source, but it's much faster, as you can observe. The preview has completed in 3 seconds. So if I open my output right now, I can see that without changing anything in my template, just by specifying a different style sheet, now I have a document title, which is in orange, and the fonts look slightly different. Now also I have numbering for my headings, and again, the fonts and everything have changed slightly, which is exactly what I wanted to do. And this is the way, or this is the best practice that I'd like to recommend whenever you deal with formatting in your document. Consider if you can externalize the decision in a style sheet. It allows pretty much everyone in your organization to change the output of the document, the outcome of the document, the formatting, by providing a different Word style sheet. And I expect there are many more people out there who know how to use Word than there are people who know how to change an RP document template. Also, it allows you to use a single template with different style sheets to produce different documents. We might want to produce a draft version, you might want to produce a confidential version, and so on and so forth. So actually, to achieve the final document that I've shown you at start, what I will be doing next is that I will be removing every bit of formatting from my template. So I will go and remove my title. I will go and remove my table of contents. I will go and remove the master page that I've created. So I'll go master page, remove master page, and I will physically delete the master page here from my template again. And instead of that, I will be using a different style sheet. I will be using a style sheet that actually contains or provides information for much of that. And now, before running, I will open this style sheet and I will show it to you. So if I open my requirement specification DOTX, you can see that we are really getting close to the outcome, to the goal that we've set, creating the PDF document that has the front page and everything else. So I have the image here. I have the title, which is called requirement specification. You cannot see here, but here is the location for the subtitle, where my module title will go. Author, date, revision. I have this text, and the nice thing is that if the legal team or if the marketing team or whatever team is responsible for publishing this wants to change something, they can come and type this in Microsoft Word. They don't have to do any changes to RPE, and they don't have to have RP installed and so on. Also, I have the table of contents here. I have my headers and footers. If I want to change the centering, I can come here and do it in a very visual way. I can tweak the table of contents. I can tweak the table of contents in RP as well, but here you have the advantage of using a very familiar UI and allowing that to be done by a lot of people. So I will run this document again. Actually, I will do the preview, and let's see how close we are from the goal that I've set. So the image comes nicely. I have the requirement specification here, but I don't have the module title. I don't have the author. I don't have the date. I don't have the revision. The table of contents is coming off nicely. I don't have the table of figures because I haven't yet resolved the problem with the images in my document template. So I will take one at a time. So first of all, I will solve the problem of the document or the module title not being shown in the front page, the author, date, and revision, and then I'll worry about the images. So back to document Studio. I will go to the design perspective by clicking RP Document Studio, and I will be now making sure that my output populates this title in the right location with my module title. So again, from the DNG module, from the artifact entry, I will drag the title on this newly created text element. If I leave it like this, what will happen is that in my output, right after the table of figures, I will get and right before any requirement text that I have, I will get the artifact title, and this is not, sorry, the module title, and this is not what I want. I want this module title to go precisely in the location that I've shown, right after requirement specification. And how do I do that? I will open again that DOT file to show you, is by using bookmarks. Now, unfortunately, Microsoft Word doesn't give you a way, or doesn't give designers, or at least I don't know, how to show bookmarks, other than going to the insert menu, choosing bookmark, and you see I have defined a number of bookmarks. First of all, being the document title, and if I say go to, it will show where this bookmark is. It's here, right under requirement specification. If I choose, I want to go to the document revision, and I say go to, you will see that it's right after the revision text. So I have 4 bookmarks. The first one is right under the title, and then, as you expect, one is next to author, next to date, next to revision. So I will be, in RP, I can use these bookmarks that are defined in my style sheet as, and I can instruct RP to send output there. Rather than sending it into the normal document flow, I can say, well, no, send it to that bookmark. And I do this again through the properties window. I select my text element, I select general, and in the target region, I will type doc title. I will add another text element for my date, and for date, I can write a very simple JavaScript, which is new date to string, and this will print me my current date. And you can have, there are more fancy ways of doing it. I can test the script to see that I've written it correctly. So I will click test script, run, and I can see that date is in this format. I will not change the format right now. I'm happy with it for the demo purposes. And the target region is .date. And now it remains for me to populate or to introduce the author and the revision. And for that, I will create, I will use another concept of RP, which is the variable. The variable is a mean for RP or RP template designer to request data from the end user that runs the report. So I will create two variables, author and revision. I will provide default values as undefined so that they will be very visible in my output if I forget to provide values for them. I will drag the author name here and the revision here. And again, I have to specify. The target where I want them in the output, and I will specify here .author as the target for this text, and I can specify .revision as the target for my revision property. So if I generate the document now, and again I will just do a preview document, I should see that my front page is properly populated with everything. So I have the access and account module. And of course, I forgot to specify the author and revision. And this is a good example of why providing default values for variables is useful, because otherwise I might have, I don't know, wondered why the data doesn't appear where I want it to appear. Maybe I've done something wrong with the template, and I would have wasted a lot of time debugging a problem that is non-existent. In this case, the problem was that in my report, in my document specification, I forgot to specify, well, the author is myself, and revision is, I don't know, 1.0, right? And I have everything here. There is one more thing that was in the final document that I've shown you, which is the name of the module was not only under the title in the front page. It was also on the header of the page with the data. And I'm using the same technique. I will be sending this information, the doc artifact title, in a bookmark which is called doc header, I think, because with RP and with Word, you are not limited to sending this data in the normal content body. You can actually define regions in headers and footers and direct data there. So if I generate this again, if I do a preview document again, I should see everything showing up properly. So I see the author name here, I see the date here, I see the revision. If I scroll, now I can see in the header that I have the access and account module, because here, although it's not visible, there is a bookmark which is called doc header, which I used to direct the output. So this is the Word document, and it looks almost as I want it to look. Just the image is missing. The problem is that I've shown you first a PDF document, and if I open the PDF document that I've generated right now, it's not looking nice. You can see it's not the same, and there is no notion of a PDF style sheet. However, in RP, the one advantage or one interesting capability of RP is that you can use the same style sheet that you use for Word. You can use it for PDF as well. And I will do one more thing at this point. I will simply remove the HTML and XSLFO output from my report because they are not needed. And actually, I will remove the Word document altogether because it's not needed either. What I'm interested in is the PDF document. If you remove the Word or the output format that you are not interested in from your output will go much faster. So I will generate the document again, and this time I will do a full document generation. And I should see that my PDF document has the same image at start and has everything that I was showing minus the images, right? So again, I have the image, I have the title of the document, I have the subtitle, which is the name of the module, the static text that was in my Word document, the table of contents. The table of contents works if I click on it. If I click on any element, I will be taken to that element. The same table of contents from the left-hand side also works. So I have my document exactly as I wanted it. So what I would have to do next is add another entry so that I extract not only the text requirements from the module but also the images. Since we will be providing all the materials shown in this demo after the session, I will not waste the time with doing that. Instead, I would like to stop here. Thank you for attending, and maybe spending the last 5 minutes that we have for this session for answering questions if we have any questions from the audience.
Okay, thank you very much, Dragos. I'm looking and I don't see that anybody has asked any questions yet. So let me pull the poll window out. Actually, can you look on the question board? There's one question from Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
Can we learn how to link images from doors? Go ahead and read through that question there.
Come again?
So the question was, can we learn how to link images from doors modules to auto-generate the list of figures?
Yes, and yes, let me show you that. I will close this template that I've created, and I will open the one that I've prepared. So it's called requirements specification DTA. So this is very similar to what I created. So if you look at the top part, this is the container that I've used with the title, author script, and everything else. What it has in addition is that it also knows how to extract. It also knows how to extract images, and the logic is very simple. For each requirement or for each resource that is defined in a module, if its format is a property that is returned by the module data, if its format is sketch, then I will be using a different dynamic data source for sketches instead of using the one for text. And here I will be using an image to render this property. Now about linking the image to a table of figures. This is done very simply. You have this element which is called figure caption. This is all you have to do. After each image, you have to introduce a figure caption element, and optionally you can provide something that is meaningful to this image. In this case, Doors Next Gen provides the title of the image in the title property. So I'm using that here. It's data source artifact title value. And as long as you have a table of figures in your either in your template or in your style sheet, let me open that. If you have a table of content, so if table of figures, you will get it in the output. So I will generate the document now, and you will see that, and I will open the Word document because in this example I have kept it. I have not removed it. I have not stripped it from documents from my document specification. So I'm opening it. It's a docx file, and I can see that in my table of figures I have 3 images, which are the images from my DOS module. So if I click on the second one, it's figure 2, and the entire magic for being able to generate a table of contents and for doing it is to have this field, a figure caption field, which is introduced in the document template. RP is responsible through that image element. If I go back here, through this image element, RP will fetch the image data, and then the figure caption allows you to link it nicely and properly in a table of figures. And again, this template will be provided so you can study it offline. You can run it with whatever DOS Next Gen module. It should work from anything, I think, from 4.06 to 6.0. You should get the results that you expect.
Very good, thank you. We have to wrap up in just a minute, but I think there's one other question from a couple from Liz. Can you do references? That is, if I have a figure and I want to reference a figure in the text, but if I don't know what section number when I'm creating the text, how can I add a reference? Like one in Word, like Microsoft Word does.
Yeah, so with RP you can define, or you can make use of 2 elements. You can define bookmarks in your output, and you can reference them via hyperlinks or via different other elements. So in this case, you could, for each image, you could generate a bookmark. So I just as a mock-up, I will put a bookmark here. And the key thing to remember, and the key thing for this technique to work, is that you have to give to this bookmark a unique value and something that you can later on reference and recall. And generally, you do this by using some property of the element. I'm not sure what you could use. You could use, for example, I don't know, the URL, or maybe the section. You have this here, the section property. So you could, for each image, you could generate a bookmark which, as value, it has this section element. And then later on, from whenever you want to use it, you could refer this section element and vice versa. So and if this is not enough, you always have the option of using JavaScript to do additional calculation and maybe storing some values and accessing them. I've created templates, and I've seen templates created where, in parallel with rendering the data, all sorts of table of indexes were created so that data can be efficiently retrieved and used in the document. I hope this is clear, and for any question that is not clear, I invite everyone to use the DevWorks forum for RP or the Jazz.net one, and there myself, my colleagues, and other RP practitioners will be able to provide you in-context answers with examples and then help you through the problems that you're facing.
Well, very good. Yeah, so we're just about out of time. So I do want to say thank you very much, Dragos, for a fantastic deep dive into creating RP reports and templates. I want to thank everyone for attending today's webinar. I will be sending out, we'll contact everyone who registered or attended, and we'll send out a link to download the presentation. And as Dragos said, there are a lot of resources if you want to kind of go online and look for assistance, or if you need any additional assistance, feel free to reach out to myself or Dragos directly, and we'll try to answer your questions. With that, I think we'll wrap it up. Dragos, go ahead, Dragos.
Yes. Thanks for setting this up, Eric, and thanks everyone for attending. Much appreciated.
Yeah. You're very welcome. And so that concludes our webinar for this morning. Thank you very much.